Rhetoric is really, 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 really important. I've been trying to scream this from the mountaintops for at least 3 or 4 years now. When the left says things like white supremacist and Nazi, you can defend yourself. I am not. If you want to, that's fine. You can get mad about it. That's fine. But I want you to remember something. We brought out a poll for you recently on this show that showed half the Democratic Party thinks white supremacism is the #1 issue in the United States of America. Why did they think that? When you've probably never met a white supremacist in your life. Neither have I. Why would they think that? Because rhetoric matters. That's why. And when they're calling you Nazi, when they're calling you white supremacist, I want you to understand this. They are dehumanizing you. They are making you less than a human being in their minds. Why would they do something like that? Well, let me ask you something. If I were to put a Nazi in front of you right now, and I mean card-carrying, Jew-hating Nazi, red armband and everything, what would your conscience allow you to do to that person? Anything, right? It's a Nazi. Line them up against the wall and shoot them in the back of the head if you feel like it. What can't you do to a Nazi? Rhetoric like this has real consequences.
It's not just a crisis of confidence. It's not just a crisis of competence. It's a crisis of truth. And at some point, you have to recognize that when people worship white supremacy, when people worship Trump, when people worship whatever kind of QAnon conspiracy they want, it is now a cult. It is a cult not radically dissimilar from Al-Qaeda, at least from what we've seen so far as the belief system. And when you deal with cults, you can no longer defeat those people with logic. You just have to defeat them with laws, and you have to allow people to live in whatever kind of crazy fantasy world they want, as long as they're not harming other people.
Cult, white supremacy, Al-Qaeda. Let me ask you again. Let me frame it a different way now that you heard it. If I were to put Osama bin Laden, bring him back from the dead, dig him up from the ocean floor, even though he's fish poop now, what if I were to bring him back to life and put Osama bin Laden in front of you? What would your conscience allow you to do to that person? Rhetoric is really, really, really important. Let's not forget we had 4 years of this kind of garbage.
Trump is as destructive a person in this century as Hitler, Stalin, and Mao were in the last century. He may be responsible for many more million deaths than they were.
When he called immigrants animals, it was the same as Adolf Hitler used to call foreigners animals, Jews and gypsies. It's the same politics. It's neo-Nazism.
Terrorist Trump must be defeated, must be destroyed, must be devoured at the ballot box.
When you see what Donald Trump is doing, is that any different from what we describe as radicalizing people?
As the leader of a terrorist organization is viewed as a loser, as a not winner, it is harder for him to recruit.
What do you think those people, the people sitting at home listening to that, what do you think they think about you with your MAGA hat on? Watch yourself out there. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.